Psalm 4 in the midst of anguish. This prayer will give you peace. Almighty God, eternal and just King, today I approach you with profound reverence, with my heart bowed before your majesty, and with my lips open to cry out in your presence. For I know that you are my justice. You are the one who hears me. You are the one who does not despise the cry of those who come to you in their distress, seeking refuge in your name. And here I am, Lord, raising my voice to beg you to answer me, not because I deserve it, but because you are just and your justice covers me, because your mercy bends over me, and because your ears are not closed to the prayer of those who trust in you. Answer me when I call, O God of my justice, for there is no one else to whom I can turn. There is no one else to give me rest when anxiety oppresses me. There is no one else to sustain my steps when anxiety tries to stop me. There is no one else who understands the depths of my thoughts as you do, who search the very depths of my being. And so I raise my voice with the certainty that this cry is not lost in the air, but ascends to your holy throne, where your glory shines forth and from where you send answers to those who call upon you in sincerity. Lord, when I was in distress, you made me feel enlarged, and that memory becomes strength for my faith. For you have not abandoned me in the moments when I felt everything closing in around me, when the paths seemed blocked and the walls rose up, oppressing my spirit. There you were, extending your mighty hand, opening up space where there was none, giving me breadth where I saw only confinement, granting me freedom where I felt chains. And today, when I remember that in the midst of anguish you enlarged me, my soul is filled with gratitude because I recognize that it was not my strength, not my wisdom, not my power, but your grace that lifted me up and gave me a place in the midst of narrowness. Therefore, O God, I come again into your presence, and I dare to ask you to have mercy on me and to hear my prayer. For I know that your mercy is greater than my faults. I know that your compassion is deeper than my mistakes. I know that your goodness surrounds me like a cloak and covers me when I come before you just as I am, needy, broken, and thirsting for your voice. And I know also that you, O Lord, incline your ear to my prayers, not because my words are perfect, but because your love is everlasting and your faithfulness does not fail. Answer me when I cry, O God of my justice, for every word I speak is born from trust in your character. For I know that you do not judge me harshly, but justify me by your kindness. For I know that you do not shut the door on me, but grant me access to your presence, because I know that in you I find the relief my soul seeks. And even though anguish may once again surround me, I remember that you have enlarged me in the past, and I know that you will do so again, because you are the same God who opens a path in the desert and makes room in the narrowness. And here I am, Lord, pouring out my prayer before you, asking you to receive it as a sacrifice of the lips, like incense that rises to your throne, asking you that your mercy may envelop me in this moment, and that your voice may bring peace to my interior. Because nothing calms more than your answer, nothing soothes more than your word, Nothing gives more rest than feeling that you hear me and hold me in the palm of your hand. And that is why I continue to cry out insistently, because I know that in the constant cry is revealed the faith that never tires, the trust that never breaks, and the certainty that you never abandon those who hope in you. O God of my justice, I raise my cry, and I will not tire, because every time I pronounce these words, I am more convinced that you are faithful, that you answer in your time, that you hear every sigh that springs from my heart. And so I hold on, remembering that you, when I was in distress, made me expand, and that work of yours remains as a testimony in my life, as a memory that drives me to continue believing. Because if you gave me relief yesterday, you will do so today as well. And if you made room for me before, you will do so again today, because you are the same, because you don't change, because in you I can rest. Children of men, how long will you turn my honor into shame? How long will you love vanity and seek lies? My soul grieves to see how the honor that comes from you is scorned by hearts that love what's fleeting and are lost in vain, because they exchange the eternal for the temporal. Exchange your truth for lies that do not hold. Exchange your glory for a pretense that fades like dust. And here I am, Lord, bringing this cry before you, because in the midst of this generation that despises what is true, I raise my voice recognizing that you are my honor and that my life is not measured by the approval of men, but by the gaze of your justice. O God, my heart is saddened when I see those who cling to vanity, when they run after lies and believe that there they will find fulfillment. And I know that only in you is their life, that only in you is their peace, that only in you is their justice. Therefore, I beg you, Lord, to keep me from falling into the same thing, to not be dragged by the glitter of vain, nor seduced by the echo of falsehood, to not place my trust in empty words or fleeting illusions. Keep me firm in the truth of your word, because even if my honor turns into shame, and even if my faith is despised, I know that in your sight I have worth. In your sight I have a name. In your sight I have an eternal inheritance. Children of men, how long will you turn my honor into disgrace? This question echoes within me, and in it I find the warning not to follow in the footsteps of those who are lost. To love vanity is to chase a wind that never reaches you. To seek lies is to drink from a fountain that never satisfies. And that is why, Lord, I decide to turn my heart to you. I decide to lift my eyes to your face. I decide to rest in the certainty that you have chosen me. Know then that the Lord has chosen the godly for himself. And behold, Lord, my heart is broken and humbled, because I recognize that I am not worthy, but you have chosen me, not because there is perfection in me, but because your grace has reached me. Not because of any merit in my works, but because your eternal love has looked upon me. And knowing that you have chosen me for yourself, my soul finds rest, my spirit finds comfort, because if I am yours, nothing can snatch me from your hand. The Lord will hear when I cry out to him, and that is the hope that sustains me, that is the peace that surrounds me. I do not speak to the air. I do not pray to nothing. I do not bow down in vain. But every word I speak, every sigh that rises from the depths of my being, is heard by you, my God. You hear me in the silence of the dawn. You hear me in the brokenness of my soul. You hear me in anguish and in joy. And knowing that you hear me, the burden is lightened, anxiety fades, faith is strengthened. That is why I remain, Lord, persevering in prayer, trusting in your justice, hoping in your mercy. Even if men turn my honor into disgrace, even if the world loves vanity and runs after lies, I will remain in the truth that you have chosen me and that my cries reach your throne. And in that certainty, Lord, my soul is sustained, because even though confusion and contempt reign around me, the conviction is born within me that your choice covers me and your ear remains attentive. Therefore, I bow before you with holy fear, and I listen to your word that tells me, tremble and do not sin. Tremble, Lord, for we recognize your greatness. Tremble, for your presence is a fire that consumes the unclean and a holiness that cannot be mocked. Tremble, for before you the knees of heaven and earth bow. And I too tremble before you, not from paralyzing terror, but from reverence that recognizes who you are and who I am. You are eternal. I am dust. You are holy. I am weak. You are perfect in justice, and I need your forgiveness every day. And in this holy trembling I sustain myself, Lord, so as not to sin, because the memory of your majesty keeps me from offending you, because knowing that you watch over me frees me from walking in lies, because understanding that you chose me keeps me from turning back. And so, Lord, your voice invites me to meditate in my heart as I lie in bed, and to be silent. And I do so, Lord, in this silence where only you hear me, where only you know what my soul holds, where only you can touch the deepest part of my being. In the solitude of my bed, I meditate on your word, Lord, and remember that I can hide nothing from you. My thoughts, my intentions, my dreams, and my fears are laid bare before your eyes. And as I meditate in my heart, I realize how much I need your grace, how much I depend on your mercy, how much you sustain me when I think I can sustain myself. And in that silence, Lord, I remain silent, recognizing that your voice is louder than mine, that your word is clearer than my arguments, that your presence is greater than my reasoning. I stop, Lord, and pause to contemplate and breathe in your peace and let the silence turn into worship. Let my heart speak louder than my lips. Let my soul bow lower than my knees, for you hear the deep, you see the secret, you speak in silence. And in that silence, obedience is kindled within me, because your word reminds me, offer sacrifices of justice. And I come before you, Lord, knowing that the sacrifice you expect is not of animals or empty rituals, but the sacrifice of a righteous heart, of a surrendered life, of deeds that reflect your truth, of steps that walk in integrity. I want to offer you justice, Lord, not just with words, but with deeds, not just with desires, but with obedience. And in the midst of my cry, I say to you, teach me to live in justice. Teach me to walk in righteousness. Teach me that my thoughts, my words, and my actions are aligned with your will. May my sacrifice not be mere appearances. May my surrender not be mere lip service, but complete. May all that I am surrendered to you. For that sacrifice pleases you, Lord, when my very life becomes an offering, when my steps are guided by your truth, when my heart is an altar where you dwell. And after offering you justice, your word commands me to trust in you. And here, Lord, I pause to tell you that I trust. I trust in your plan, even if I don't understand it. I trust in your will, even if it doesn't always please me. I trust in your time, even if it seems long to me. I trust in your power, even when my eyes see impossibilities. I trust in your love, even when sometimes pain tries to cloud my faith. And in that trust, I remain, Lord, knowing that you never fail, that you never lie, that you never abandon. I trust in you when the night is dark. I trust in you when anguish presses. I trust in you when the voice of lies would make me doubt. I trust in you when men turn my honor into disgrace. I trust in you when all seems closed, because I remember that you gave me strength in my anguish. And if you did it yesterday, you will do it again today. And if you gave me relief before, you will do it today too, because you are faithful, Lord, and you do not change. Many are those who say, "Who will show us the good?" And those words resonate in hearts that have lost hope, in the voices that wander the earth seeking answers in what is perishing, in souls that find no meaning in what they live, and who desperately cry out for something to show them the way. And when I hear that question, Lord, I too turn to you, because there is no one else who can show us true goodness, no one else who can reveal to us the eternal purpose, no one else who can satisfy the emptiness that beats deep within the human heart. Lift up upon us, O Lord, the light of your countenance, for that is the only answer we need. That is the only guidance that can show us what is truly good. That is the only clarity that can dispel the darkness of our confusion. Lord, when your face is lifted up upon us, falsehood vanishes, vain loses its power, lies are exposed, and all that seemed important is diminished before the majesty of your light. That light, Lord, is more than clarity. It is life. It is truth. It is salvation. It is rest for the weary soul and a safe path for the lost. And here I am, Lord, pleading for your face to be lifted up upon me, because without your light I stumble. Without your light I go astray. Without your light I walk in darkness. Lift up your light upon my house, upon my family, upon my thoughts, upon my decisions. Shine your light upon my steps, so that I may not stray to the right or to the left. Shine your light upon my struggles, so that I may not be overcome by discouragement or overwhelmed by doubt. And shine your light upon my heart, so that I may not love vanity or pursue lies, but may stand firm in what is eternal. Many ask who will show me good, but I know that you, Lord, are the answer. You showed your goodness in my life when you raised me from the dust. You showed your mercy when you gave me room in trouble. You showed your faithfulness when you inclined your ear to my cries, and you will continue to show it because your light does not go out, because your face is not hidden from those who cry out in sincerity. And in the midst of this cry, Lord, a truth dawns that fills me with gratitude. You have given joy to my heart, and not just any joy, not a fleeting joy that depends on what I have or what I lack, but a joy greater, deeper, more lasting than anything earthly. That joy that comes from your spirit and not from my circumstances. That joy that is born from your presence and not from my achievements. That joy that sustains me even in the midst of sadness. That gives me strength in the midst of tiredness. That keeps me standing when everything else pushes me to fall. You gave my heart greater joy, Lord, than theirs when their grain and new wine abounded. And how true this is, for the world rejoices when abundance fills its barns, when riches cover its tables, when the wine and celebration seem endless. But that joy is fleeting. That joy ends with time. That joy vanishes like smoke. Instead, the joy you give remains. The joy you sow in the heart depends neither on abundance nor scarcity, neither on success nor failure, neither on what I hold in my hands, but on what I carry in my soul, your living presence. Lord, I recognize today that the greatest wealth I can possess is not in what I accumulate, but in the joy you give me. That joy is not bought with gold or silver. It is not measured in coins or possessions. It is not stored in storehouses or accounts, but it is poured out from the depths of my heart when your light shines upon me. That's why I ask you to keep my soul in that joy, to teach me to value the eternal more than the temporal, to show me every day that your presence is enough, that your peace is more valuable than abundance, that your love is greater than any treasure. Lift up the light of your face upon me and fill my heart with your joy, that joy that overcomes sadness, that joy that breaks anguish, that joy that is not quenched by trial. For though the grain fails and there is no new wine, though there is no abundance in sight, my heart will rejoice in you, for you are the one who fills my days with meaning. You are the one who shows me good. You are the one who gives me rest. Therefore, I will say with confidence, in peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, Jehovah, make me dwell in safety. Lord, how great is this truth that comes from the depths of the soul, because after all the clamor, after all the supplication, after remembering that the world runs after vanity, and that many seek in vain the good that they will never find, I can declare that my peace does not depend on what I have, or what I see, or what surrounds me, but on you. I will lie down in peace, Lord, not because there are no battles, not because there are no difficulties, but because in the midst of it all, my trust rests in you. The peace you give me, Lord, is not like the peace of the world. The peace of the world is fragile. It breaks with the first storm. It collapses when the foundations of material things are shaken. But your peace, O God, is firm. It is sure. It is like an anchor that sustains my soul. So, when night comes and I prepare to close my eyes, I do not fear. I do not worry. I do not despair, because I know that you are with me, because I know that your angels surround me, because I know that your presence covers me. I will lie down in peace, Lord, even though voices of concern try to disturb me. I will lie down in peace, even though the enemy tries to sow fear in my mind. I will lie down in peace, even though troubles want to occupy my thoughts. And I will sleep, because you give me true rest. You give me restful sleep. You give me the peace of mind of knowing that tomorrow will be in your hands, that my future does not depend on my strength, but on your faithfulness. And as I sleep in peace, Lord, I confess that my security comes not from locks or walls, not from locks or guards, not from men or human strategies. Only you, Jehovah, make me live in confidence. Only you give me security. Only you give me confidence. Only you are my refuge in the midst of the storm. And while the world fears what is to come, I take refuge in you because you are my shepherd. You are my rock. You are my shield. And so, Lord, each night becomes an act of faith. When I close my eyes, I surrender into your hands. When I let go of control, I rest in your sovereignty. When I surrender to sleep, I recognize that you still watch over me, that you still govern, that you still reign. And though I sleep, you do not sleep. Though I rest, you still work. Though I surrender to repose, you sustain the entire universe with your power. In peace, I will both lie down and sleep, for my soul is secure in you. For my spirit is at rest in your presence. For my life is kept in your hands. And that trust frees me from fear, frees me from anxiety, frees me from doubt. That trust allows me to smile even when the night is dark, allows me to rest even when the storm rages, allows me to be calm even when I see no way out, because I know that you are God and that nothing escapes your control. And so, Lord, night after night, I surrender myself to you, and day after day, I wake up in your mercies. For sleeping in peace is a gift from you, for waking up alive is evidence of your faithfulness. And while others seek peace in material things, while others seek trust in the fleeting, I remain in you, because you are my greatest good. You are my eternal treasure. You are my sure inheritance. So today, Lord, I end this prayer in gratitude, because your word has shown me that in you I find an answer when I cry, that in you I find solace when I am in distress, that in you I find mercy when I bow down, that in you I find choice when the world scorns me, that in you I find justice when I am judged in vain, that in you I find peace when night falls. I find all things in you, Lord. I find all things in your presence. I receive all things from your hand. And so, with this certainty, I surrender completely, trusting that each night I will be able to lie down in peace and sleep confidently, because only you, Jehovah, make me live in confidence. And in that confidence, I surrender. And in that peace, I remain. And in that rest, I end, proclaiming that you are faithful and that you will never leave me. In Jesus' name, amen. Beloved brothers and sisters, we have walked through Psalm 4 together and seen how each word leads us from anguish to rest, from supplication to trust, from tears to joy. This psalm shows us the life of the believer in all its reality. On the one hand, affliction, the incomprehension of men, the pressure of the world's vanity, and on the other, the sure response of a God who listens, who frees, who enlightens, and who gives peace. The psalmist began by crying out, "Answer my cry, O God of my righteousness." And we too can approach God with that same confidence, knowing that we do not stand in our righteousness, but in His. He is the one who justifies us, the one who opens paths in the midst of anguish, and the one who has mercy on those who seek Him with a sincere heart. Then we hear that question that spans the centuries. Children of men, how long will you turn my honor into shame, love vanity, and seek lies? How timely this sounds, because we live in a world that scorns the truth, that despises faith, that clings to futility. But there, in the midst of that reality, the psalm reminds us of a glorious truth. The Lord has chosen the godly for Himself. That is, even if the world turns its back on us, even if our faith is ridiculed, God has chosen us and hears our cries. That is our security. The psalm also invites us to tremble and not sin, to meditate in silence in our hearts, to offer sacrifices of justice, and to trust in Jehovah. This is a practical lesson for our daily lives. It's not enough to pray. We must live upright lives, turning away from sin, examining our hearts, and offering ourselves as a living sacrifice of obedience and trust. Prayer and obedience go hand in hand. And in the midst of all this, the great need of humankind arises. Many are those who say, "Who will show us what is good?" And the answer is in the face of God. Only He can show what is good. Only He can illuminate the right path. Only He can fill the heart with true joy. A joy that doesn't depend on abundance, because the world rejoices when it has grain and new wine, but that joy eventually ends. Instead, the joy that God gives is greater, deeper, and more lasting. And so we come to the end of the psalm, where we find one of the most beautiful declarations of trust. In peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. This is the fruit of prayer. This is the result of trust. This is the gift of resting in God's presence. While the world is in turmoil, the child of God can sleep in peace, knowing he is in the Father's safe hands. Beloved, Psalm 4 teaches us that in the midst of anguish we can cry out. In the midst of confusion we can trust. In the midst of the night we can rest. Prayer takes us from burden to peace, from doubt to certainty, from anxiety to rest. And that same promise is for you today. If you commit your life to God, if you take refuge in His presence, you will be able to say at the end of the day with complete conviction, In peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, Jehovah, make me dwell in safety. Now I want to ask you, how do you feel after praying Psalm 4? If this prayer has blessed your life, share it with someone else so that others may also find peace in the midst of distress. May you have a day filled with God's presence. May His peace be with you and His light illuminate your path. I'll see you tomorrow so we can continue praying together and learning from the Word. God bless you.